It's that time again. Just going over last week's haul. So I got a whole bunch of new movies I added to my collection. We're going to talk about them. Some I've seen, some I haven't, and in no particular order, we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. One of the big things that a lot of people have been complaining about lately has been Disney and the Disney movies and the reboots and all that type of stuff. I've been wanting to give a lot of love to the older Disney stuff and stuff that I remember seeing as a kid. You know, maybe it was on TV. They used to do those Sunday nights at 8 o'clock on ABC. Used to be a Disney special. It was before Disney had purchased ABC, so that there was that whole thing that they had tied in there. So every Sunday there was a family movie night. So that type of stuff I wanted to bring back into our house, and so I was really looking into these older movies that I had remember seeing growing up, and then I found a couple that I had never even heard of. But a lot of these were just fun for me as a kid, so just trying to relive them again. So I got a couple of these. So I got Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It's a movie I've seen a bunch of times as a kid. Absolutely loved it. And as a kid, man, the Sean Connery sings this song, Pretty Irish Girl. And as a kid, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I mean, I thought he had a great voice, and that song is just always stuck with me. So I don't know if that's what my thing with redheads and Irish girls is because of that song. I don't know, but I've always had a thing for them, and that song kind of I don't know. Growing up, I thought it was great. Then we got Flight of the Navigators. This is another Disney classic, and something you don't see too much of this stuff anymore, and it's something I remember in the 80s and absolutely loved it. So this one, if you haven't seen it, it's a little boy basically gets abducted by an alien, but nobody really knows, and he travels through time, and then then the government gets a hold of it. It's a little bit crazy, and then he actually has all the maps and everything downloaded in his brain, so he has to fly the alien spacecraft. So it's just an interesting one. Haven't seen it in a long time, and I figured I'd pick it up. Now this was recommended to me by a friend of the channel, and he has a great YouTube channel, but Brandon the Anime Guy, he comes in all the time, talks to me, and he recommended this one. So My Neighbor Totoro, I got it last week. We've been watching it. My kid loves it, and just introducing myself and my kid to some great anime. So definitely thank you, Brandon. And it's something we've added to the collection we really have enjoyed. Heavy Metal. Now this one I haven't even opened it up yet, but this was like $7. I stopped off at Best Buy yesterday, and I was looking for a gimbal. I was looking for just something to attach the camera to so I can go through my movie collection and like some of my statues and stuff without having to bring everything here and just do like a nice video. So I was looking for a gimbal, and they had some at Best Buy. I was going to take a look at them, and they didn't have the one I wanted. So I found this. It was $7. It's another one I haven't seen as a kid. We've been talking about movies like this for a long time now, and so I was like, well, that was a no-brainer. Definitely, obviously, not one I'm going to be watching with my kid anytime soon, but it's one I remember watching when I was probably about 12, 13, and that's probably your target audience for this movie. And I'm pretty sure it was John Candy did a voice for this. I don't remember who else was in there. There's a couple good ones. Produced by Ivan Reitman. Yeah, it's not saying. I'm pretty sure John Candy did a voice for this one. Then we have this one was never on my radar. I knew nothing about it. It just popped up, and it popped up for pre-order. I checked it out. It looked pretty good, and I pre-ordered it blind. And this was The Trouble with Harry. So this is a 4K, and it's a Alfred Hitchcock film. So it says a rare comedy from the master of suspense. So it's something I had never heard about before. The whole premise sounds great. Basically, the whole town doesn't like this dude, and he dies. So then the whole town basically is taking credit for killing him off, and the whole thing just seemed really funny. So, and then you have Edmund Gwynn, John Forsythe, and Shirley MacLaine. They're all in this. So I figured I'd give it a shot. The Illusionist. Now, this is one that I have seen. I really did enjoy this one. It's got Paul Giamatti, Edward Norton, Jessica Biel, and there's like this prince, and he's kind of abusive and a jerk, and there's some trickery going on. And then Edward Norton is an illusionist, like a magician. So, and he's in love with Jessica Biel. So there's that whole aspect of it. This was just an enjoyable film. I really do like this one. Boatniks is another Disney one. I hadn't seen it, but I figured it's in the same vein in that time period when they were making things like Freaky Friday and Herbie the Love Bug and all those movies I did grow up watching. So I figured I'd give this one a chance. It just looks like a fun family film. Let's see, this one here, we've been talking about on the channel a lot about Ray Harryhausen and some of the films that influenced people and some of the films that we've loved. And so I picked up this. It was a documentary. It's called the Ray Harryhausen Special Effects Titan. And it's got commentary from Peter Jackson, James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, Tim Burton, Guillermo del Toro, Joe Dante, John Landis, and Terry Gilliam. Now, those are all men that I grew up enjoying their films and stuff that they have done. So not only big, huge fan of Ray Harryhausen, I'm a big, huge fan of those guys. And that's one of the things I talk about all the time is how the art has inspired the next generation in whatever form that art is in. And this is just living proof. So Ray Harryhausen and his films have introduced a whole art form and inspired an entire generation. And famously, Tim Burton has said that he knew Ray Harryhausen by name before he knew any actor or director, because that's what he was into. And very clearly you can see that has influenced him throughout his entire career. So this is one I was going to get into. I'm a big fan of documentaries. Since I was a little kid, my mom used to call me a little old man because I would sit down and watch documentaries. I always somehow thought they were interesting. Not all kinds, but some weird ones. But this is definitely right up my alley. Now here's one. See, so this is Ralph Bakshi. So this is Wizards. This is another one I haven't seen for a long time. And I don't even remember if I remember all of it or if I ever caught just some parts of it. So I remember there was this kid, I used to be able to go to his house on the weekends, and he had an older brother who had like all kinds of things that my mom would lose her mind if she knew. Like he had like a Foot Locker full of, Playboy magazines and movies like this. And he had like, he had heavy metal and that type of stuff and Fire and Ice. And so, I got to watch a lot of this stuff over there where in my house, my mom would have lost her mind. So this is one, I vaguely remember it, but it's still in the same vein. It's still Bakshi. So I'm into it. So this is one I'm a big fan of. And then Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Now this is one with all of those Ray Harryhausen films I grew up watching. They would always be on television. And so this one was a great one. It was a great pickup. This one actually came all the way from England. So with this boutique label, the Indicator brand, so this was something that comes out of the United Kingdom, and it's a new boutique label here in America, and they have linked up through Amazon, I think Barnes & Nobles, and then a couple of the local American websites that do boutique movies that I'm not 100% familiar with. I just found out when I was trying to research these discs because this is something I've been trying to get a hold of, and on eBay in the secondhand market, some of the other discs are crazy prices because they're considered out of print, but this being available, I went this route. One, the artwork's beautiful. Two, it's a boutique label, and so you have a better. Usually you have a better transfer, you have better packaging, just everything about this is just a nicer way to do it. So I do support the boutique labels, being a movie collector. So this was my first entry into it, this one and Mysterious Island, which I'm going to show next. And I did order a whole bunch more of these Indicator lines, so I'm looking forward to adding this and having a whole shelf dedicated to Ray Harryhausen now with the Indicator films. Now this one actually came from those same things. I did order it through Amazon, but it shipped to me from North Carolina or South Carolina. And this one, it came a little damaged. So there's a crack right up in here, and then when I opened it, the teeth that hold the disc in were busted, which is not a huge deal, but I'd like to get a new case. So I'm trying to figure out which ones I have to get to replace this perfectly. But this was recommended to me by a friend of mine, Odin, and he's got a great channel too. He's an artist, an up and coming comic book creator. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, I'll probably throw the link down below. But a good friend of mine recommended this, and man, he said it was a great film and something he enjoyed watching when he was younger, and he didn't. I don't think he talked it up enough. Like, I watched this one, I love it, and two, my kid loved it. So like, there's this scene with this giant crab, and like, you're on this island, and it's just really cool. And there's all these like giant monsters. You figure you're getting into a Ray Harryhausen film. That's probably what you're gonna get into. And there's this giant crab on the beach, and he's got this guy in his claws, and he's like pinching him and crushing him, and then everybody tries to kill the crab. And man, that just right there, instantly, my kid just got up and she started to pretend to fight the crab, and these types of movies are so great because they do not only challenge you, but they spark that imagination. It's just really, really enjoyable. So this was a great pickup. I'm glad to have it. And it's my second introduction to the Indicator line. And so far, I'm loving everything I see about it. And then it's going to sit on my shelf very nicely. Big fan of that. And last but not least, another Disney classic. This one I haven't seen, so it's called The Gnome Mobile, and it's just one of those cutesy, fun family films. Seems like it's just typical for Disney at the time. And I don't know if the date is on here, but we're talking like probably the 50s or 60s when this one came out. But definitely really, really enjoyable. So that's my haul for this week. Let me know in the comments down below if you've seen any of these films, if you'd like to, or this Indicator line, if you're interested in it, or if you knew anything about it. But being able to get those old Ray Harryhausen films on the Indicator line, big fan. So I'm going to be looking for more of those. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe.